In Alberta, we are continuing to have a recovery-oriented system of care. The Alberta recovery model says, instead of facilitating addiction, we're able to get people healthy and get them help again. It's crazy to think that this is an outlandish statement within Canadian public policy, but it's my belief as a Minister of Health that healthcare should heal you and not harm you. Unsafe supply no longer is harm reduction in any of its traditional sense of those words. It becomes harm production itself. Decriminalization is not reducing harm, it's producing more harm to those who use and also to the wider community. You don't believe me? Look outside in your streets and see if those policies have worked. The alternative is to get people access to healthcare, to get them into recovery, because someone can return to being a mother or a brother again. Or in this case, let's remember how we started this video. On the question of youth. When it came to the report about children in care of the province, it was the socialist elected politician's position that we need more harm reduction. I'll translate that for you right now, and you know what this is. Harm reduction in that language means we have to have facilitation of addiction for those who are under the age of 18, in our care, who are vulnerable, who have lived through trauma. If you look at what British Columbia has done, there's examples of 12 and 14-year-old girls that have been facilitated addiction, and they've been given drug paraphernalia like needles and other things so that they can shoot up and get high on opioids, instead of the province in British Columbia saying, I will get you help, I will get you health care. Parents have pled in other jurisdictions like British Columbia to have some sort of mandatory treatment regime if a child is in active addiction. And instead, British Columbia's government, the one responsible for caring for those who are most vulnerable and the ones who are in their care, is, yeah, go for it. Let's facilitate that even more. It seems to me we've completely lost our way as a society if we're wondering, should we facilitate a 12-year-old's active opioid addiction, or should we get them help? Should we intervene? And this is the question that we have. Canada is strangely subject to the world's most radical policies on addiction. There is no jurisdiction in the world that has anything close to unsafe supply. There's no jurisdiction in the world that has kept any form of decriminalization when it comes to drugs. It seems that Canada continues to revisit this. We have over half of the world's drug consumption sites, of so-called safe injection sites, in Canada. We have a population of under 40 million. There are 7 billion people out there with all sorts of Western jurisdictions across Europe and North America that have not gone down this path. It's not a compromise that we should be making. The path forward isn't a middle road between the most radical policy of unsafe supply and recovery, and it's especially non-negotiable when we talk about our children. That should be beyond reproach, because the tragic carnage that comes from addiction is made all the more heartbreaking when it happens to someone's child, never mind your own. We need to stop this insane idea within Canada that we have to find some middle ground between the most radical position presented by the institutions of the media, woke radical activists in academia, or elected officials in jurisdictions like British Columbia. We're not negotiating with that. We shouldn't do it with adults. We should get them care and healthy again. We definitely shouldn't entertain this when it comes to our children.